Hi everybody, welcome to Sweet and Sour. My name's Slim Jim. I'm filling in for Gary this week. I'll be joined very shortly by the very beautiful girls from Crazy, Sexy, Cool, which should make for a fantastic panel for tonight's episode. We've got three fascinating letters to sort ourselves through. The first one, not so gorgeous. How can calling anyone gorgeous get you into trouble? We're going to find out about that. In letter 2, bigotry and racism in Australia. Is there bigotry and racism in Australia? I'm sure we'll find out more about that as well. In letter 3, should the age of consent be lowered? Whew, that's a tough subject. More of this and these wonderful ladies from Crazy, Sexy, Cool at the other side of this introduction.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Hi everybody around Australia, welcome to Sweet and Sour. In fact, tonight we're going to change the name of Sweet and Sour to Beauties and the Beast because I've been joined by the wonderful ladies from Crazy, Sexy, Cool. It couldn't be better on a Monday night here in Perth. It's sort of like double date night gone wrong, isn't it? Quadruple date night gone wrong. Now, Maddy, you haven't been here before, have you, on Sweet and Sour? This is your first experience.
It's my first time.
Have you seen the show?
I have.
Have you?
Yes, had a few friends that have been on the panel before.
So you've got an idea how it's going to roll today and that type of thing?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay with us. Asha, your first time as well.
It is, watch out.
Yeah. Have you seen the show yet?
I YouTubed it.
Oh, did you?
I thought I was just getting the technology as well.
Okay. And what was the subject matter like on the night that you watched it?
Well, there was a couple of my colleagues from Crazy Sexy Cool on it, so all downhill.
All downhill? Okay. At least you got an idea how it's going to run, you know what I mean? Bethaney, welcome. This is not your first time. You've been here before.
It's not my first rodeo.
And what happened last time you were here? Was it all good? Was it a positive experience?
As Asha said, it was all downhill. No, it was a really enjoyable experience. We had a great team and yeah, we brought it. It was great.
Good. Okay, I hope tonight's as good as your past
How could it not be?
Well, I was going to say, with your friends as well. And Jade, welcome.
Hello.
And this is your first time here as well.
It is.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What did you expect when you came here? Have you seen the show before?
I'm the same as Asha. I just YouTubed it. I wasn't entirely sure, but I think it could be a lot of fun. Great people on here, so it'll be really good.
To me, it's always a lot of fun, especially when you've got great company as well. Listen, we'll get stuck into the first letter. This is letter number 1. Not So Gorgeous is the title. Dear Slim, how can calling anyone gorgeous get you in trouble? Well, it's happened to me twice. I just don't get it. What sort of politically correct, restrictive society have we turned into? The first time I accidentally sent a text message which began, "Hello, gorgeous," to my girlfriend, it wasn't meant for her, and when she realised, everything hit the fan. I think it means the poop hit the fan. It was an innocuous message, and the girl I sent it to, I always call gorgeous. In brackets, she considers herself a bit of a Hollywood type. The second time was after I just completed a small business deal with a woman. I was so excited and appreciative that beaming I said to the woman, "Thank you so much, gorgeous." Well, she took so much offence that she cancelled the deal on the spot. Is this a woman thing? Is this a bloke not understanding thing? Or is this just something that needs to be ignored rather than fed? Should I be changing, or do I have some deep hidden misogynistic trait that I'm unwittingly harbouring? And that's from Perry of Embleton in WA. Jade, you are the first person to give me a reaction on that.
Well, firstly, I think if you're calling a girl other than your girlfriend gorgeous, there's something a bit wrong. But good on you for telling her that it wasn't meant for her. Okay. Probably not the best thing for him, but it happens, I guess.
Maybe it's a generational thing, but do your parents use words like sweetheart, sunshine, honey?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
It is a little bit
Darling.
weird. Yeah. It is a little bit weird when a stranger says it to you, I find.
Yeah.
If you know them, I think that's a little bit easier to deal with.
I catch myself out using love all the time.
Yeah, I get that one a lot.
I get really strange looks from blokes when I say it's a bloke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Bethaney, what do you feel about this letter?
Well, gorgeous.
Well, you need glasses. Yeah, borrow mine.
To be honest, if this man is silly enough to be texting other women gorgeous on his own personal phone, and obviously
if his girlfriend doesn't read his phone from this point onwards, then, you know what, he's a lucky man and he should marry her, because if you sit there and call somebody else gorgeous and your girlfriend doesn't, you know, move you to the couch permanently, you're in a good thing. So, I mean, in business deals, there's a time and a place for everything, and business probably definitely isn't the time or the place, but...
Is it a sexist thing for a man to call a woman gorgeous?
Look, I don't find it offensive at all myself. If someone goes, hey, gorgeous, I'm like, oh, I'll take that for the day. But, yeah, look, each their own, and you've got to understand that there's going to be people that do find it offensive. So, you know, I guess take your luck and...
Asha, do you get offended by being called gorgeous?
Look, I got a friend at work that actually just rolls off the tongue, and it's so platonic. He is probably the nicest person I know. His girlfriend is 6 years running, and there's nothing in it.
Can I ask how old this person is?
He is about 25, so he's not really old. Okay. Whereas my fiance has this horrible habit of calling someone love all the time.
That's like me.
He'll just walk up to a 50-year-old woman and go, hey, love, how you doing? And she just looks at you like, really? Yeah. Who are you? I don't see it as a problem. I think pick your time and place, mate.
Yeah.
I think in a business deal, you never know if someone's had to go through a massive sexist struggle to get to where they're going.
Yeah.
But big time, pick your time and place.
I think it's an age thing as well. Like if somebody goes to an older person, hi love, hey gorgeous, it kind of comes across disrespectful.
Yeah,
so,
demeaning a bit.
Yeah.
I'm horrified when he does it to someone. I'm like, oh.
So maybe
I
like
get a bit surprised at that when you go shopping at a
Yeah.
department store and either an older person behind the counter is actually using the same vernacular, like, hi love, how you going gorgeous, you know, come here sweetheart, I'll show you this, or whatever the case may be. I find that a little bit too cheesy.
You know what ticks me off?
What's that?
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Do I look old enough to be a ma'am? Nobody answer that.
Is that supposed to, is ma'am the,
It is.
Is ma'am the neuter? Is that not the neuter of all the sort of, you know...
I don't know, but
I
it's...
use that myself. No, I'm not offended by ma'am. I think it's very polite. It's very old school, conservative way of I think it's polite though, of you know, addressing somebody. It's probably more appropriate in several circumstances than gorgeous, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That I will definitely agree with.
And Maddy, what's your take on this? Not so gorgeous.
I think it depends on the context. I think you, pick your time, like the girls said. In a business deal, depends. If I've known the person for a few years and they say, great, gorgeous, that's fine. And it's a very affectionate term. So ma'am is a little more guarded and a little more reserved. Love is probably something I'd expect somebody that's older to call me, and I certainly wouldn't be offended. I wouldn't be offended by gorgeous either. Bring it on. Bring on the compliments.
But see, ladies looking the way you do, and that's not casting any aspersions whatsoever, but I mean, you must get a lot of men coming to you, especially in a social environment, and using what's the classic one-liners, that type of thing, but always trying to endear themselves or feel they're going to be closer to you if they use that sort of terminology, like sweetheart, honey, you know what I mean? You know,
I think it's
heaven's missing an angel. You know what I mean?
Does it maybe take a little bit of shine off it though? If you're just throwing around gorgeous and hey beautiful all the time, does it take a bit of the shine off
it?
it?
Cheapens it.
Yeah.
Some people use those terms a lot, and I think that's where you can either choose to judge them on whether they've spoken to you that way or whether that's how they address everybody, and that's just...
But also assert your point. Sorry, not cool. My name's Asha.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, you don't have to sit there and be offensive.
I might be gorgeous, but I've got a name too.
Yes, I know Asha is gorgeous. Try the name.
What were you saying, Jade?
I just think that's exactly right. If someone's going to come up to me and be like, oh, how are you, gorgeous, or whatever, like, my name's Jade, you know. Just call it like it is.
Here's one to throw into the mix. With the business deal, sometimes as a female, we have to play the game. Should we be accepting it then, if it's to, you know, your a stereotype of, you know, a male CEO, you know, buttering you up as such? Do you accept it?
But the fact that he used that term gorgeous to somebody he was doing a deal with, I find that's probably taking it a bit too far.
It's a bit disrespectful. A little bit early in the relationship.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think they did say a new business deal as well, so yeah.
And the thing is though, when it says, it sort of makes a comment here like, what sort of politically correct restrictive society? Well, it's not. I think maybe just attitudes have changed. Maybe attitudes have progressed to a level where the equality issue is very evident in today's society. And for a 50-year-old guy like me, and you're obviously much younger than that, you're seeing things now that have been people have been trying to entrench into society now for a number of years. Listen, great debate. In fact, looking forward to see what's going to be said about our second letter. Back after the break. Thank you. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Now, listen, if you want to send us some correspondence and have your letter read out on the panel with a chance to win a free ticket to a movie or a free double pass to a movie, all you have to do very simply is email us at letters@sweetandsour.net.au. You can visit our website at sweetandsour.net.au. You can find us on Facebook even at facebook.com/sweet and sour. And finally, you can tweet us. Do you guys tweet?
Tweet, tweet.
Do you?
Yes.
I've never tweeted.
Just
haven't become that
I've tooted, but I've never tweeted. So you can tweet us at Sweet and Sour TV. It's that simple. And this week's movie of the week that the lucky letter person is going to win, whoever we decide is going to win a double pass to see The Other Woman, which apparently stars Cameron Diaz, Leslie Mann and Kate Upton. And apparently it's an absolutely hilarious movie. You've seen it, haven't you, Maddy?
I have, very funny.
Yeah,
Very
good.
funny.
That's good. So we look forward to that. So The Other Woman is the movie of the week. Now let's get stuck into our second letter because this one's an absolute ripper. Dear Slim and panellists, how polite. Barack Obama has been an inspirational president of the USA. I don't know how the economics of the world have prejudiced his achievements in the eyes of the Americans, but at least a black man was able to be elected president. What a wonderful milestone against racism in the world this has been in spite of the fact that in the USA they have more fat-headed and just plain fat people than anywhere else in the world. Well, where does that leave us? Because I believe Australians are far more racist than any group in the States. If a black man ran for the top job here, he wouldn't stand a chance. Think about it. We still have our pillars of progress suggesting that it's okay to be bigots, as the Attorney General mentioned George Brandeis advocated in Parliament recently. What chance is someone other than the Anglo-Saxon person simply scoring our top job? We're so backwards we still have people in this country who don't appreciate nor want the separation of church and state because they are Bible bashers. It's the same bunch that would string up any non-Anglo-European running for top office in this place. They are also the first to call the return of dames and knights. They just succeeded if some of you didn't notice. They just succeeded, I should say, if some of you didn't notice. What's it going to take to get a black man elected and get rid of the white Anglo-Saxon yardstick of perfection Australia? This is from Liz from Davenport in New South Wales. Maddy, what do you think?
Wow, what a letter.
I know.
Look, I was always told it was rude to discuss religion and politics, so no,
this is not the place to avoid answering, commenting on a letter, that's for sure.
I believe that racism is basically judgment. Am I correct? It's judgment of a minority group.
People say judgment and ignorance.
Ignorance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of judgment throughout your letter, Liz. You've called Americans fat-headed and fat. You've called various minority groups Bible bashers and such. So I think racism, none of us like it. I certainly think, we had a female Prime Minister who, in her own words, was a ranger. So I think we're a little bit more radical than you might think, and I certainly think that's a generalisation. There's a lot of well-educated people in this country who perhaps are a bit more conservative, but I certainly think we're opening the doors to, more, I guess, minority groups being a part of government and council. We've got Bob Catter and various people involved in our governments and councils. So I wouldn't really agree with your point, to be honest.
Well, Australia is the greatest melting pot
absolutely
of a society you could ever possibly wish for.
Exactly.
What do you think, Asha? What do you think about this letter?
We are a multicultural nation, and one of the things that Liz writes, she writes from Australia. So in Australia, she knows what's going on in Australia and the form to these minorities. She doesn't know what's going on in America and their truly inspirational president. Like, she doesn't know the day-to-day problems that America might advertise on the TV for their minority groups that are getting left out, and we don't know that around the world. Most importantly, probably, is the fact that, yes, okay, we don't have a black Prime Minister. We still do have voted to keep the crown.
Black members of Parliament are in place.
Now we have
state and federal
chose
politics.
to keep the crown, and most importantly, we just don't know what other countries are going through to come into this situation.
But I think Australia's isolation has sort of almost forced us to accept all these different immigrants and try and make it work.
But it works so great because the place to learn about like religions and cultures is school. So lots of this generation coming through now, they know how to handle different religions and stuff and why they have to go to a room quietly for a minute, and that's fine because we know why, whereas our parents may not.
Yeah, Bethaney?
Really, to keep it simple, you know, if anyone's talking about racism, it's obviously Liz, because as Maddy said, she's referred to, you know, various different groups as fat-headed and Bible bashers, and I think that's a little bit the pot calling the kettle black, pardon the pun, for Liz to say all this. And to be quite honest, if a black person wants to, you know,
or a fat person,
or a Bible basher,
or
an old person, anyone wants to, you know, get up and have a go, then why not?
Yeah.
You know,
Jade,
we're not stopping them.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think racism is definitely a huge problem in this country, but to say that we need to elect a black man and that's just magically going to fix our whole problems, because yeah, but it just comes down, we need to think about who we're electing. We need to elect people based on their abilities and not whether they're black, white, male, female.
Bring us together.
Yeah, that's it.
We need to be brought together for it all.
And based on the party policy, not the one figurehead that represents
Definitely.
Well, one thing this letter has done, it's certainly brought us together, united in the fact that we're not really happy about the content. So that's the end of our second letter. We're back very shortly with our third letter for tonight.
Sweet and sour. It's a bit like Eurovision, just as cheesy and just as weird, but less hamster wheel.
Sweet and sour. Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the panellists have got to say about this next letter. It's headed jailbait. Many cultures, I should say, around the world marry off women at a very early age. And if we turn the clock back not so long ago, it was commonplace for girls of 12 or 13 to be married off. My great-grandmother, who was born in 1898, was married at 13. Jerry Lee Lewis, the entertainer, married his bride and she wasn't yet 13. Nowadays, if you suggest marriage or sex in the same sentence as a person under 18, you are labelled a pedophile. My point here is that I see it very clearly that changing cultural values determines our standards. I know what I'm talking about because my somewhat immature 22-year-old son was courted by a very mature 13-year-old. I had to put a stop to it. It made him extremely unhappy, and yet she persisted to call and call. Still, this relationship was in everyone's eyes, including mine, not allowable. After witnessing the real separation anxiety my son and the 13-year-old had, I'm starting to question these values and perceptions. What does each of the panel think is correct? Asha, this is heavy.
I don't think much.
You don't think much?
I think many cultures marry them off at a young age. Is it right? I didn't know myself when I was 13. I'm certainly a very different person now. And I think that for anyone to suggest getting married at 13 is stupid.
Yeah. At 13, I was suffering from acne terribly.
Yeah, and a parent's meant to guide you,
wedding
not
photographs,
encourage it.
Think about it.
Like, obviously, Martin's done the right thing by getting the kid away from the other one, but still, like, are you going to give in to a child's every once? Just because he wants the candy bar, don't give it to him.
Yeah, that's true. But would there be an issue here, though, that if the 13-year-old was genuinely that interested in a 22-year-old?
Where's her parents?
Well, is he willing to wait for another sort of 5 years?
Yeah, would they still be interested
legal?
after a phone conversation of 6 years?
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it very much. Maddy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think at 13 you're a child. Even though these days children grow up so much quicker and that kind of thing.
The hot pants aren't necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely not. And 22-year-olds are involved in a lot of things that a 13-year-old certainly shouldn't be, whether it be going to bars and, you know, I guess sexual liaisons, all that kind of thing. And it's a bit of a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. It's I find it strange that you're even asking us this question. 13-year-olds are still babies and they need to be let be children as long as they can, I think.
Well, especially for 13-year-olds. I mean, she's only had, what, 5 or 6 years difference of holding a doll and next minute delivering a baby. I mean, really should be obviously able to have a baby at 13.
Have you seen Teen Mum?
Have I? No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
1, 2 and 3.
What's your vibe on this, please, Jade?
It's one of those things where, as a parent, you have the responsibility to guide your children, show them what's right. Clearly, this 13-year-old's parents just don't know what she's up to. They need to teach her as well, and the person in this letter definitely went about it the right way. They said themselves that their son was immature. So I think they went about this by just cutting it off.
Send their son out.
Yeah, tell them to go out and meet people his own age. Like.
See, at 13, I was in love with a 32-year-old, but it was Agnetha from ABBA, so it was like...
That's fair enough.
Permissible, you know what I mean? So
Julie Lewis
allowed that.
His career was nearly ruined.
it was
pretty well ruined.
pretty much ruined.
By, you know, the obviously negative.
But see, the truth is that age group was permissible to get married in the southern states of America at that time.
Yeah.
Fairly archaic, and it was religious based as well. The precursor of it. So it's quite weird that that it had such a reaction as it did. But most of the reaction came from his overseas fans, as in the English fans, for example. Bethany,
Different culture.
did you ever have a crush on someone when you were 13 that was over 20?
Oh my gosh, yes, but I wasn't allowed to even entertain those ideas. But, you know, I completely agree with absolutely everything the girls have said, and I 100%, if I had a 13-year-old boy or girl, there would no way in hell be doing this. But it does raise the question, if you don't allow them to do it in your home, are they doing it somewhere else? And I don't mean anything, you know, untoward, but if you don't allow these people, you know, this 22-year-old to come into your home and see your daughter under supervision, are they going to go elsewhere and not be supervised?
But at 13, you would hope that there's that level of control where...
I couldn't agree more,
Each parent needs to teach their kid to be responsible and talk to them.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
I agree,
but
but see, there's a couple of comments here that worry me a little bit, because this is from Martin from Glenelg in South Australia. He's made a comment like, you know, if marriage or sex in the same sentence as a person under 18, you're labelled a pedophile. Well, it's two different things.
Yeah, pedophile's a bit harsh. I'd go with stupid.
yeah. And isn't it under 16, not 18?
Yeah, 16
It's 16. So, you know, I mean, you're looking at, yes, 3 years is a long time for a 13-year-old, but if, you know, they're that in love, they'll wait 3 years. If it's that serious,
that's my point.
they'll be there.
The rite of passage. Like,
Exactly.
you should be chasing
Explain what
the
the rite of
16-year-old
passage
boys
is.
around the high school.
Explain that again. What's the rite of passage?
Well, like, if you go straight to 22, that means that this guy's already would have done all the 21st and the 18th, and she would have been holding off what's going to be quite a lot of fun years, hanging off a guy that's, if it works. If she doesn't grow into something different altogether.
Holding hands down the halls of the high school and, you know, sneaking a kiss behind the bike racks. And you don't get to do that if you're dating a 22-year-old.
Running off to the school pool in the middle of the night.
Or are they at school with you?
But if you review the actual letter, it says
At 22, there's a problem.
Martin from Glenelg was saying that he witnessed real separation anxiety between his son and this 13-year-old, which is, I'm worried.
He thought the 13-year-old's going to be attached.
I love the comment. He says somewhat immature 22-year-old. Well, I'd have to say he's probably the most immature 22-year-old I've probably ever heard of.
Have you met a mature 22-year-old?
Oh, you know, I have. But I'd have to say, no, it wasn't me. No, it definitely wasn't me, but it was more female than male. Listen, great debate, girls. Very, very happy with this. But we have to try and pick a winner. So, letter 1, not so gorgeous. Letter 2, black flak. Or number 3, jailbait. Who's going to be the winner of our movie ticket to The Other Woman?
Number one.
Number 1?
Gorgeous, yeah.
Not so gorgeous?
He probably needs to take his girlfriend to the movies.
Oh, okay, so...
Helping you out, buddy.
Buy her something pretty.
So Perry from Embleton, I hope Perry is a male. Oh, listen, they've also won sunglasses. Sunglasses and the movies. This is good. This is a good combination. So congratulations, Perry. Your movie tickets and sunglasses will be coming out to you very soon. Listen, I want to say thank you very much, Maddy, Asha, Bethaney, Jade. You've been an absolutely wonderful panel to participate with, and I hope you catch up very, very soon with Sweet and Sour. It's running throughout the country. It's an incredible show. You get content like this. You get beautiful women like this. It's wonderful. Sweet and Sour. See you next week.
Bye.